This is Scott Becker with the Becker Private Equity and Business Podcast. Here are 9 stories that we're following this morning, and I'll start with a few prescripts of some big moves in the stock market that are fascinating. Then we'll get into what we're watching generally. First, Medical Properties Trust dropped almost 30% on Friday. It basically is in trouble with one of its main tenants, Steward Health System. And this is a story of both Steward probably being over-leveraged and Medical Properties Trust being too dependent upon a customer or customer concentration challenges. Second, Agilon Health also dropped nearly 30%, 29% on Friday. And finally, Peloton rose almost 10%. So that was a nice move for Peloton. It seems like forever since we reported positive news on Peloton. So here's the 9 stories we're following today. First, the markets are fairly flat this morning, but kind of moving in the right direction now after pointing slightly down. We'll see how the day turns out. I always hate to give stock market news early because the days can change so much. Second, Bloomberg reports that Apple is likely to see a double-dip decline in its iPhone sales in China, and that's important because China is a very important market for Apple. Third, Boeing having another safety problem. Their MAX 9 plane was grounded, and this is the potential that's been grounded across the country by the FAA after one of the panels went off the plane during takeoff. Always a bad sign if you're on a plane and one of the panels goes off. Everybody was okay, thank goodness. Stock is down 8 to 10% pre-market. We'll see how it is today. Fourth, cannabis and Bitcoin both started the year well. Oil is flat at $72 a barrel, but Bitcoin and cannabis both up so far. Fifth, Bloomberg reports that the private equity market starts 2024 as bad and as slow as 2023, so we'll see how that goes. Sixth, commercial office vacancies hit a new record high. Bad news for the commercial real estate market, particularly as there will be new refinancing and so forth. I did make a couple bets on distressed commercial office, one through a fund, one through a particular project. Not enough money to make me lose sleep at night. I think I might be too early in the cycle. We'll see. This is more based on gambling and fun in a non-core part of the portfolio than true conviction-based investing. And I do believe that people really should stick to conviction-based investing, i.e. where they really have a conviction around. So this was not that for myself. This was more fun in a small part of the portfolio, almost like sports betting. Seventh, there's also a great article in the Wall Street Journal on how home buying insurance has become so ridiculously expensive and the impact that can have on the real estate markets. Eighth, we're excited to have the Becker's Healthcare annual meeting. Some great speakers, Bill Belichick, Michael Strahan, Martha Stewart, President Bush at the annual meeting April 8th to 11th in Chicago. Our CEO meeting is November 11th to 14th in Chicago. There will be great speakers there as well. Finally, ninth, thrilled to have just an absolutely great month with the Becker Private Equity Podcast. A lot of thanks to Chanel Bunger on that as well. And I guess the last postscript I'll say is that I was on a plane yesterday, and there were a lot of Green Bay Packers fans, and no offense to Green Bay Packers fans, not the brightest group in the nation, but what have you. They beat the Bears again, but again, not known for intellectual depth. And then there was also a lot of Michigan fans on the plane. And again, between the intellectual challenges of those Wisconsin fans or Green Bay fans and the arrogance of the Michigan fans, it was hard to be a Midwesterner playing yesterday. In any event, I'm just joking. I don't really think the Wisconsin fans, the Packer fans are dumb. I do really think, quite frankly, that the Michigan fans are a little bit arrogant. We'll see what happens in the national title game today, Michigan against Washington. I can't hate Michigan as much as I used to because a couple of the daughters went to Michigan. Wonderful school, but the evil empire of college sports. Thank you for listening to the Becker Private Equity and Business Podcast. If you have any comments or questions, feel free always to text me, 773-766-5322. Thank you very much for listening.